No, I was just saying with the carrier frequencies, like with a stronger frequency, is there ever a situation where someone could benefit from that because they have things that are repressed and they want to confront
Mm.
those, deal with those? Is that something, is that a possibility as well, or is it better to just have the gradual build up?
Depending on the person, they could benefit from that, but you don't want to traumatize the person. So it's better to give it to them, because what could happen is if the carrier frequencies are too low, you may end up having an extreme mystical experience that will absolutely blow your mind. But what thing people have to understand about meditation, meditation is also a double-edged sword. So whatever you get positively, you're also going to get negatively. So you don't want to give someone an experience that's so powerful and then you end up having the absolute opposite of that, or the total opposite of that. So it's not a good idea. So it's better to do it gradually, because those things will happen anyway. But you want to give the nervous system, the brain and the nervous system, bit by bit, so that you can
So it can
gradually
take a
get there. Yeah, it's just too much for the nervous system and the brain.
I see. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Thank you for explaining that. I wanted to ask then because what ended up happening before this interview, I did want to, you know what I mean, sit in some sessions and know what, because I wanted to have a better idea before I spoke with you. And the other night, I went on your YouTube channel and I saw that you had some guided sessions. And I
Hmm.
personally, just speaking from my own experience, I really like guided meditation, like period. I really enjoy it. I find my mind can be very scattered. So having someone like a voice or something there to explain, okay, think about this, kind of, feel your body in this way. I personally really enjoy that kind of meditation. So I went and I started listening, and I wasn't even like a minute in, and I could just feel myself like leaving the room. I'm like, hold on, let me get comfy, let me, because I was just sitting at my table. I'm like, oh, I'll play this kind of in the background while I'm doing something else. And I could not, I was like, no, 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 I'm okay. I feel you. I get it. It was that fast that I felt a difference. And I was like, okay, let me just go sit in a quiet room, sit on the floor and try it again. So what I would really like to know from you then is what would you say are the different benefits then from doing something like a guided session, which is one I watched of yours on YouTube,
Hmm.
and something different like that's a little more free form, kind of like the sessions you're doing right now, the one for Breonna Taylor, which I was just in, where it's more like it's just a meditation session that it's that individual kind of tapping into themselves.
This is my personal opinion, and based on watching people when they're meditating, guided meditation actually doesn't do anything. It's really more
Okay.
for the ego. So, in that sense, it's
Oh, okay.
beneficial, right? Some people just has different. Some people have different preferences. So, some people like yourself like the guided stuff because you want someone to guide you in. It's beneficial if you're talking about traditional meditation, because you may need someone's voice to give you that focus to get into the meditation. But with brainwave entrainment, you don't need guided meditation. You don't need any other devices. The binaural beats meditates you. So anything that I put on top of that is just a bonus. It's just decoration to the binaural beats. Yeah, but a lot of people do like guided. So just for the sake of it, I'll put some in there for certain people. I don't do that on the program itself, but for the sake of YouTube, I would put some guided meditation on there. But the guided meditation itself doesn't really have a great benefit, except for if I'm walking through the forest and I don't know where I'm going, it's probably better to go with a guide as opposed to you doing it yourself, right? But with binaural beats, it meditates you, so none of that is really needed. And but yeah, so it's good for that purpose. The purpose, what we're trying to do with Yinnergy is, I'm thinking about the long term goal. I'm trying to get people to evolve. So this is the thing that a lot of people don't have right in the Western world. In the Western world, we look at meditation as like mindfulness, something that will calm me down, something that will help ease chaotic feelings inside of you, so that you can go about your day. But I'm going from the Eastern tradition, where I'm trying to get people, if they're interested in that, I'm trying to get people to evolve as human beings, so that they can reach Satori, reach spiritual enlightenment, reach all those states. So that's what I'm mainly concerned about. But a lot of people in the West are not there yet. So you start people off slow. That's why a lot of people will only get through the first level of Yinnergy, because spiritual enlightenment and Satori is not, people can't even fathom that. So they'll just stop at level one and they'll just stick with that. They just want to be calm and get throughout the day. Where there's a smaller group of people, they're trying to reach and try to get to the point what it means to reach ultimate truth. So that is the main purpose. But of course, the customer, the market is based on people who want to do guided and wants to do short term, get the short term fix. So Yinnergy does that too. But if you go on with Yinnergy, you can realize that you can reach states of, you can actually reach permanent bliss and things like that. So there's a bigger benefit with it if you stick with it long term and going through all the different levels.
Do you think that also has to do with maybe the Western world's kind of idea around like things are very compartmentalized, they're very kind of conveniently done, and people think sometimes in those terms like we don't there isn't, you're right, it's almost like the short-term satisfaction and so I can get through my day or something versus how does long term, how does this like change my life and change how I look at life and look at everything around me? Do you think that's kind of like almost like a byproduct of the Western world?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. A lot of us here in the Western world, the information that's been fed to us is it's really made. It's made for the consumer, right? So that's the culture that we've created. It's made for the consumer. And if you look at the consumer is going to look at, well, if I go to an amusement park and I have a fun day at, I don't know, Canada's Wonderland, as opposed to what if I went to a retreat and something at the retreat changed my whole entire life. All right, so it's yeah, I would say it's because of culture, why we are the way we are, and it's meant to be that way. So I'm not saying that needs to change or anything like that. But for the small group of people within the Western culture who's seeking for something more, because there is permanent bliss, there is permanent happiness. All those things do exist, and any one of us can actually get there if you're willing to put in the work.
Wow, that no, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.